Well, it's 5 hours to high tide, and already you can see lots and lots and lots of people on the beach. Wow. I guess that's because the gates to the arm are closed. Yeah, that's why. So they're all fishing from the beach. Even the old wooden bridge, the old wooden bit, has got a few people on it. I've got nothing against foreigners, but I guess it's foreigners. Anyway, we're going to go and nudge in here, yeah, and we'll go from there. There's always room for one more, and even if there isn't, we're going to make room. Well, hi guys, it's 25 minutes to 10 here. High tide isn't at 2 in the morning, and I'll fish this for the next 3 hours or so. And so basically I've got my head torch on. GoPros are absolute nightmare in low light, so I'll put my head torch on and I'll show you what I've got. So we have got, obviously that's the main line, yeah, coming down to a swivel and a clip, and basically I've got a 2-hook flapper on here. Now I bought this off of Amazon, but some people make them themselves. And so the flapper comes down, and just as it says on the tin, there's 2 hooks. The other hook being down there. And then I've got a grapple on, so that's your grapple weight there. Yeah, and it's a 4-ounce weight. So a 4-ounce weight, and I've got a 16 pound main line on here, so I don't need a shock leader. A lot of people use shock leaders and they keep them on. For me, no, it's unnecessary. I only, what do you call it? I only take and use the very, very bare essentials. I travel light. I don't have one of these Tronic Pro big beach trolleys. I just have a rucksack, a small marker light, and that's basically all the lures and the bits and bobs that I'll need to fish tonight. So here again, the flapper's on, and then I've got a small ugly stick, it's called. It's a small spinning rod basically, and I will basically the same again with the main line. It'll come down to a swivel, a clip, and then I'll attach probably these sabiki feathers for mackerel later on, because the horse mackerel will come in for sure. And then at the end, and you'll see it when it's set up, I'll show you, this will be my weight. So everything that's shiny will kind of attract them, and obviously the light on my head. But I'll bait this up and I'll show you the presentation of the bait too, yeah? I'll show you the presentation of the bait. I always think that presentation's important. I might be kidding myself, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do anyway. So listen, I'll see you in a bit. I'll try and get this done before the light goes right down, yeah? Anyway, see you in a bit. So the bait itself, guys, what I normally do is I take the head off the squid and you're left with this, yeah? Spanish squid. And then I basically transect it, so I cut right up the middle of the body of the squid, and then I'm left with 2 pieces like that. Not too big, not too small. For me, it's just right, and it's always worked for me. Yeah, and then I basically just thread this through double, because if you do it single, it'll come off when you cast. And I try not to use elastic. And then I put this as high up the shank as I can and just covering the barb at the end, and I'll show you that in 2 seconds. Once again, back in a bit. I'm sorry I'm rushed for time because it's getting dark, but here we go. So there you go, that's what you end up with, and that's how I present it. So most of the squid is up. This squid is still frozen, by the way, is on the shank with a barb just showing. And there you go again, so there's the barb, and that's the squid covered in the shank of the hook. And as you see, they're both hooks are splitting on swivels, yeah, free flowing swivels with a grappler. That just stops it moving off the bottom. But I'm sure you know that, but not everybody. We weren't all born into fishing, and so everybody's got to learn. And that's the setup, and that's the big rod. So I'm going to chuck that out and leave it, and then that'll let me jig for mackerel as the night goes on. Okay, so once again, we'll see you in a bit. So there we go. I'm in the mouth here of the entrance to the harbour, and I've cast out, so obviously the tide will be on the turn very soon, and that will come back in. And it's a fast flowing tide here. It's a fast flowing tide, and as the tide comes in, it certainly will come this way to the mouth of the river. You hear people saying tight lines, and that's your tight line. That's where that comes from. The line's tight. If I get a bite on it, you'll hear it. There's a bell on the end, and that's what you're hearing. That's your bite, or a fish, whatever. But it's not rocket science, but everybody's got to learn, and I just thought I'd put that in. I'm not trying to take the mickey out of anybody or, you know, demise anybody in the slightest, but it's just to give you an idea. Because there was a lot of people going that used to be into fishing, and they're coming back. They've retired now and they're coming back in, but things have changed. Equipment's changed, technology is here. Even the bell on the end, I never had that when I was a boy. Anyway, see you in a bit. So here we go, guys. So that's the ugly stick there. It looks like a child's fishing rod. It's real whippy like. It's probably about 6 foot in length, 5'9", 6 foot in length. Very, very light tackle. On the end, what I've got here is a small lure, yeah. Some people just put a bomb on, so a bomb is a round weight that'll move about, and it's just cheap. If you lose it, it's nothing. That costs £3.99 out at Prime Angling. Then I've got a sabiki line of feathers. They look like a Christmas tree type decoration, yeah. And I have 7 on there, so that's about standard, yeah. And there you go. And that is as simple as it gets. And that comes in a packet that you've seen, and once again you've got your main line, and it comes down to a swivel and a clip. You clip it on, you chuck it out, and then you just work it. But I don't think because of the lighting conditions you're going to be able to see that tonight, but let's see, who knows. Anyway, we'll see you in a bit. Here we go, guys. It's the ugly stick, yeah. And I've got my sabikis, and I've got my little lure on the end, and I just want to cast it out. I don't want to be cast out too far, because if there is mackerel, they'll come right in to the pier. So out you go. Let it sink. Give it a minute to sink, and then just retrieve it and give it a wee jerk like that. Just a jerk, just a little. Just play with it. We've still got another, basically, almost 4 hours to high tide. It'll still come in. People say the lures work at night. Yes, they do. I think the fish, basically they go on, I think they go on like a lot of sounding, but have you go on around and vibrations within the water. As you see, there's a wee bit of weed, but you know, we've had more weed than this for sure, if you remember. Now again, we just chuck it out. We're a bit early, but I thought I'd come down early, and I thought it would have been a bit lighter than it has been, than it was tonight. To show you the setup, but we'll go through it again tomorrow. It's just a slow retrieve. This tide's going to be a 5.8 metre tide, but we've still got another couple of hours to go before I have to leave this bit here, this lower deck here. And we just cover the water, yeah, so we just cover it. We'll go left, right, straight ahead. And see if we hit any fish. I'm not expecting anything just now, but it just gives you an idea, you know, before my flashlight goes out. But there you go, it's just a short cast. There you go, and then just a slow and steady retrieve. Just a little play there. And if there's a bass there, will it take it? It will, it'll love that lure for sure. The same with the sabikis. I mean, the sabiki, you know, the sabiki brand is proven. And so, yeah, let's see what happens as the night goes on. And there you go. So that's the idea. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're going to be doing. And if you do that, 1,000,000% you're going to catch. And will we catch tonight? Once again, 1,000,000% we'll definitely catch tonight. 100%. See you in a bit. Hey guys, so that's the reason I work two rods is I always put one on the bottom or one on a float, and if I'm using lures or what have you, it gives me, it's kind of like double jeopardy, isn't it? So there's one out and I can just sit and wait for that bell to ring, and in between times I could be lure fishing or fishing with feathers, and that's what I tend doing tonight. So let's see what happens. See you in a bit. Well guys, since we spoke, I've taken the weighted line in and I've baited it up again, and this time I've put on a shrimp and a squid cocktail, so we'll see if we get anything with that. It's only been out 10 minutes, but there was a wee bit of weed, but not as much as there has been in previous occasions, so let's see how it goes. We won't use the feathers for at least another hour, and then we'll see what Lady Luck brings. Anyway, we'll see in a bit. Well, once again guys, we got a conger, just a baby one again, just like the last time, another conger. So yeah, very small. We will get him unhooked and chuck him back. There you go, that's on squid and prawn, but still nice to see. So we'll see you in a bit. Lots of people guys, they're all foreign. I don't know from which country. There's so many. Maybe 10 people here. Oh well guys, I had to bail. That wasn't my idea of fun tonight. Too many lights, and I mean, I've been to lots of foreign countries through my job and what have you, as an offshore medic, but that really wasn't me. I'm not going back there. I'm not. It was all foreigners, and they even had like Turkish tea and everything down there. Yeah, sure enough, fair enough, but it was like, it really was. I don't know if you can see it on the film, on the vlog. However, it was like Blackpool Illuminations. There was no fun in that. There was no skill. There was no craft. Sure, they were bringing in the bait fish, but even though they only got like, out of like 12, 13 people there, they only got like 2 mackerel. Was it worth all that chaos? And that's what it was. It was chaotic. Anyway, until the next vlog, hopefully they'll improve. I didn't blank. I got the conger. Take it easy and see you soon.